Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is Amanda. I do hope that you're well. So I'm going to be recording a video here for Equinox energies, and we're going to be doing two different readings. One for those of you that are going into autumn equinox. So I have a lot of followers in Australia, New Zealand, for example. Thank you very much for all of your support. So we're going to be doing a reading for you, but not exclusive, of course, to those two countries. Any country, any person that is about to go into autumn equinox, we're going to be doing a reading for you. Going to be doing that first. And then the second part of this video is going to be a reading for people going into spring equinox. So where I am in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, that part of the world. So I think you will benefit actually from probably listening to both readings, because remember, in a collective consciousness, we are all reflections of each other. So you can, if you want to, of course, just listen to the half which links into where you're at on the yearly cycle of nature, autumn or spring. But as I say, you might find that you miss something that could be helpful in the other half. At the end of the day, somebody that's going through something on one side of the world, there's often a reflection going on the other side as well, okay? Now, before we get into the individual readings, I thought it would be good to get out my Snakes and Ladders board again. Yes, I know it's not called Snakes and Ladders everywhere around the world, but that's what we call it here in good old Blighty. So this board, it's not really a board, it's just a piece of laminated paper really, but it came with a book that one of you sent me, which is called The Yoga of Snakes and Arrows by Harish Johari. And I've used it before in videos. You've always liked it when I have done so. And what it's got is 72 squares on the board, which represent either a vice or a virtue or a plane of existence. On the board as well, there are snakes, so you can slide down a snake. Maybe that means that we need to repeat a cycle, or there's something that we haven't quite worked through or healed, or there's another layer of the onion skin to peel off, or we just have been stubborn and haven't wanted to look at whatever we were meant to be looking at as a collective. Or, of course, we can go up an arrow, which is almost like the gold star, gold prize, go to the top of the class, but equally that might land you somewhere else. It's a bit like graduation. You graduate from junior school to higher school, and then the lessons can get a bit harder. So the board itself is actually quite difficult, because life is quite difficult, and there's no judgment in terms of wherever you are and whichever square you land on. Now, I was going to start from scare. That's a good start, isn't it? Hopefully not from scare. From square 20, which is the date of equinox in my part of the world. I know some people have got it on the 19th, but I was going to go for the 20th. I think I'll still do that. But equally, it could be interesting to also do it from square 1. So should we do it twice? And I think I'm going to do this at the start for all of us. So it doesn't matter where you're sitting in the world, autumn or spring. We're a collective energy. Let's just see where the overall collective world consciousness is right now, and then we'll break it down into the two parts of the world, right? So let's start first from square number 1, and square number 1 is Genesis, okay? Genesis, creation point. So I've got 2 dice. I'm going to throw the dice and I'm going to see what we get. Are you ready? Okay. Where are we at, please, Metatron? Let's get serious. In fact, he wants me to get serious. Let me just spray the Metatron connection spray. Life is serious, he's saying yes. But we can also have a laugh, can't we, Metatron? Yes, he says. Right. Square 1, where are we going? What are we heading into? Well, we're heading into a double 6 energy, interestingly. So we've got 12. 12 is, I can't say some of these words, so apologies. You know what I'm like. Nullity. 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 Now it's interesting I've gone there, because actually I'm wrong. That's not square 12. Why have I done that? That's square 13. Sorry, hold on a minute, I'm having a moment. We're on square one. I'm going 12 places on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I'm right. Okay, it is square 13. Phew, because 12 was envy. Okay, maybe we've dodged that one temporarily, because we would have slid right down that snakehead to greed. Anyway, we're on nullity, number 13. Let me read what that one is about, okay? In fact, before we do that, before we go to the book, which can be quite convoluted, I'm actually just going to look up what is the definition of nullity. It means an act or thing that is legally void, a thing of no importance or worth. Right, let me just tune into this then. So a few things are coming to mind. 0 point, reset energy, but equally maybe an awakening where we start to realise how much we're wasting our time on stuff that really doesn't matter, is trivial, is leaching our energy out of us. So that's just something that's coming to my mind here with regards to nullity. As a consciousness, we're landing on that. But it's 0 point energy, isn't it, really? It feels like it's start over type energy. If it was the tarot, it would be the Fool card. So let's go, though, to what it says in the book, because obviously there's great wisdom in here. Let's have a look at what it says for number 13. And then we're going to shake again from 20 and see where we get as well. So it says, again, I can't pronounce any of these words, apologies, but anyway, it says Antariksha is the space between the physical plane, which is earth, and the celestial plane, Swaga, which is heaven, the kingdom of God. This space is neither on earth or in heaven. It is between the two planes, neither here nor there, nowhere. Wow, I just need to sit with that for a moment. So the whole energy of heaven and earth, but when we're in neither state, we're in neither place. Remember, this is just energetic. Nullity is a state directly linked with the unstable negative intellect. When a player, which is us as a collective, lacks awareness of the purpose of his being, feelings of meaninglessness, existential angst and futility flow through his consciousness. He has no sense of purpose, leading him to seek out the company of his fellows. Yeah, it's that sort of aimless, void place. But I'm feeling it's usually the void can be a positive place of creation. But what Metatron's showing me is for that to happen, you have to go into the centre of the void. You have to want to reach the centre of the void. Let me show you this image that will help you understand what I am being told to say to you with regards to nullity. So, typically, the void, this is the Archangel Metatron card of the void. Creation point is when we go into the depths of it, we fully embrace it. We know that it is the place from which new life can spring. It's a positive place. But what happens if we're just floating around in this darker layer, you know, without even knowing that there is hope, that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that the tunnel isn't just this dark place where we've been abandoned and, you know, with these helpless type victim energies. That I feel like we're here, we're in this outer black energy, and we're being called to go more into this central point, which is the place of creation. It has the Om sign on it. And on the bottom of the deck, I'm noticing we've got the family card from Archangel Metatron, which is linked into cycles of life. It's the whole human family that are feeling somehow outside the circle of light, outside the circle of connection, outside the circle and the connection point to spirit, to their own higher selves. It's a place where we're feeling lost. The collective is feeling lost, abandoned. Literally, where is God? And we've got the Tree of Life card here. It's as though we're not really on any of these places on the tree. We are somewhere lost on one of the pathways, and the pathway feels as though it's a maze. It's just this maze, and it's like, where the hell is the centre? Because when I've reached the centre, then I can find my way back out again. Think about the shell going inward to discover who you are. And it's like we're just lost in this journey. We've also got the lilac card of higher realms as the seagulls pipe up, which is that whatever God is, whatever my connection to my highest potential and greatest power is, somehow it's up there. I'm being shown a balloon that we've been hanging on to, and it's like we've let go of the balloon string. Not all of us, but I'm picking up the collective energy here, and it's just like it's somewhere up there, but I can't reach it. So this feels like an abandonment wound that's coming up with this particular square that we're on as a collective. It says that nullity is linked into the second chakra, so that would be the sacral chakra. And it's to do with inactivity, instability, and restlessness. Everything loses meaning, nothing excites. The identification of personality is completely lost, resulting in an imbalance of the mental state. I mean, hello, is this not describing a lot of what's going on in our collective energy? That we can see a collapse of morale, we can see a collapse in people's mental state, people not knowing what to believe in, what has value anymore, what's worth investing in. Of course, the answer is to invest in yourself. But this is definitely a difficult place to be in. It says the depletion of energy in the pursuit of sensory objects is the fundamental trap of the second chakra. The player may land in nullity after first hitting entertainment, the sensual plane, conceit or greed. So it does say, though, that nullity is not a permanent state, and soon we will begin to regain our energies and be ready to play again by the time the die comes around. But it is important that we just take a moment to feel into this floating aimlessness. Nothing has meaning. Nothing matters type energy. It's like a bleak, depressive energy around the globe, but it is temporary. We will again be able to re-find the light. I'm of course recording this before Easter has come in this year. Easter's light is really needed at this point. Christmas was weird. The light and the energy around Christmas was not as it normally is. Lots of people have said that. For me, I just totally bypassed the whole thing because I was unwell. I didn't feel as I got the hit from the Christmas light that usually comes in. So let's hold out for the energy of Easter to flood across our planet with heart consciousness and Christ consciousness. Shall we pull a card on that, actually, before I go on, from the Christ consciousness deck? So coming from the card we've just pulled, Jesus, which is linked into nullity and people feeling lost. What guidance is there, please? What guidance is there for people watching this who may feel lost? We've got Paul, beautiful card. Saul, Paul who was Saul. Saul who was the persecutor. Saul who was the one full of judgment. Saul who was the one who wanted to take down the light, wanted to eradicate the light. Okay? Wanted to crush the spirit of the early church. had an awakening on the road to Damascus. The scales fell from his eyes. This is the card of awakening and transformation. It's literally like the blind shall see. The blind shall see, because many of us who've been awake and have been on our path for a while, we're getting despondent at the inability of the collective to move and nudge a little bit further towards what ultimately we all want, which is a state of greater unity and peace and love. But many people don't even realize that that's what is needed, as weird as that sounds, okay? People are stuck in an old template, which is, this is just the way the world is. This is the way human beings are. They're never going to change. They're never going to reach higher. But this is positive. I mean, the void and Paul as two cards coming out here. Paul went on to take it away from Christianity per se, just think about the symbolism. He became somebody who in this era, in our language today, would be called a spiritual warrior, one of the captains of the spiritual army, who wanted to help and change the world for the better, who saw the light basically, who just saw the light. So from darkness, there will come light. And of course, Genesis, which is the square we're going to pull from now, or shake the dice from now, is very much 7 days is all it took from darkness to light. So let's go back to the board. So we've talked about nullity. Let's now go back to square number 1, because I just feel like I want to, okay? Because we started at 20, but let's go to 1 as well. There are parallel timelines going on all the time, different energies we can tap into. Let's see what would happen if we're starting from 1 Genesis point. We've got 3. So this is, before I even look at what square 3 is, this is a slow and steady crawl, okay? This is like, I'm being shown a load of cars that have been in a traffic jam, and then it starts to free up further down the road, but you don't even know what caused the jam in the first place. But you just start to see that there's movement in the jam ahead, in the queue ahead, and then your car starts to you're able just to start moving, but it's a slow process until we get to clear road again, okay? So we're in a jammed up position at the moment in the world. We're jammed up, and the energy of more space, freedom energy as well, more light to come in. It's like it's all concertinaed back on itself at the moment. So let's see what square 3 is. I'm almost sort of a little bit nervous to look, but shall we look together? Okay. Yeah, it's anger. I know exactly what this is about before I even look at the book. I'm going to tell you my interpretation, what I'm hearing Metatron say. Right. You've been asleep. You might not be, but I'm talking about the collective. You've been asleep. You've been okay with the status quo. The world might not be perfect. My world might not be perfect, but, you know, it's okay. It's what I know. Then you wake up. One of the first things that happen often after you wake up is you get angry. You get angry. You look around at what's happening and you think, this isn't right. This isn't right. Why have I put up with this for so long? Well, you didn't know because you were asleep. So there is this mass awakening, this from Saul to Paul energy that wants to come in. And remember, this is all tied into the equinox as well, not just Easter. It's going to trigger some anger. It's going to trigger some anger. Now, the question is, how do people release that anger? Can they channel that anger in a positive way? Because anger can be a very potent, powerful change agent if it's used not to attack, but to bring in change, okay? So I feel as though more rallies and protests around the world are about to happen, are going to be coming in on the back of this next wave of awakening. But it has to come up, basically. I'm also feeling that the anger energy is also within Mother Earth, because she's absorbed a lot of our stuff that has been repressed for decades, if not eons. So also expect to see volcanic eruption activity as well. I'm also feeling as though skin problems might start to flare up in some. The skin is often a barometer of what's going on inside us. I'm somebody that suffered with skin problems my whole life, so there's no judgment if you have a spotty skin or you've got an oily skin or anything like that. Been there, worn the t-shirt. Okay, it's not a simple solution in terms of one thing or one product that can help it. But skin is very much about, are we comfortable with the face that we show to the world? And I'm just picking up like spots and boils and pimples. It's like, remember, the skin is an eliminator. It's an organ that helps us to eliminate toxins and emotions from our body. So look after your skin, do things to try to help keep your skin calm during this time to come. I'm being shown aloe vera as a plant. I have to be honest, I don't use it myself on my skin, but I am being shown that. It could just be like bringing the energy of aloe vera to help tend to the hot spots of the world. Literally the geographical hot spots of the world, but equally the hot spots on our skin, whether it's boils, eruptions, that type of thing. So very much, because we're being asked to shed a skin. If you think back to Saul, who became Paul, the story is that he knocked on the door of somebody who he was about to persecute, and this person knew he was being chased by Saul. And when he saw his face, he was frightened because he knew this guy was there to take him down or bring him down. And it's like that phrase from Joseph, can't you recognize my face? Is it hard to see the Joseph whom you thought I was, your brother? It is me. You've changed. I've changed. I know I've just woven a bit of Joseph in with a bit of Paul, but you get my message. This looks the same. This face looks the same, but something inside is fundamentally different. I have changed. Yeah. So there's definitely change coming into the world. Right, let's see what it says about anger here. And it is right at the bottom also of a snake. So if we had been on square number 55, that is linked into ego. Ego would have brought us would have risen all the way up to 55, but if your ego is not in check, you sink all the way back to 3. Okay, so keeping the ego in check is also is linked into this whole thing with anger as well. Right, let's see what it says about space 3. I want to call it anger. Okay, there's literally pages of this stuff, so I'm just gonna see what is the bit I need to read out. It says anger can be expressed in 2 ways, violence or non-violence. When non-violence is adopted as a means of expressing anger, it creates great moral strength and becomes satyagraha. Satya equals truth, agra equals persistence. This is possible only when the player remains calm, even though he is really experiencing anger. This anger is impersonal. It is against evil. It is based on love. This anger helps spiritual growth and is divine. And it talks about anger being great as well as that. Okay, so that's a positive way that we can stay calm and find moral strength. It's linked into holy anger. But it's also saying that ultimately, if you just stay in an angry state or you channel it badly, it obviously is an obstacle to spiritual growth because it produces fire and heat and it burns everything. It's produced without any personal feelings or thoughts of what it destroys in the process. It says here, it's interesting, it says anger excites the nervous system and suspends the rational mind completely for the time that it stays with the system. That's true, isn't it? Think back to the last time you were really angry about something. Were you able to rationally be able to see all sides of the equation? Absolutely not. So there's that phrase, losing my mind. They lost their mind in a moment of madness, a moment of anger. Okay, so it's this thing about trying to keep the equilibrium with our mind, realising that, where's my card from the Christ Consciousness deck, that holy anger can be used to create very positive change, but we have to channel it wisely. Okay, it's this one, isn't it? Of the young guy sitting in the tree that's been cut down, absolutely distraught. The beautiful old oak tree or whatever it was, you know, that sat there for hundreds of years, absolutely distraught and angry at the destruction of Mother Earth. But then that person can get up and go and plant 10 trees, yeah? Channeling that anger into something positive that wouldn't have been done otherwise, that type of thing. Okay, well, that was all really interesting, wasn't it? Hope you enjoyed that. Let's now then pull a couple of cards for autumn equinox and a couple of cards for spring equinox. I'm going to start off with autumn equinox, and we're going to go to the Seed and Sickle deck by Fez Inkwright. It's an unusual deck in that you get two different books with it, because the cards can be interpreted in different ways. Either from a place where we're going inward, which to me would be autumn equinox, things start to slow down, animals start to hibernate, etc. Or there's another interpretation of each card, which is more an outward flowing expression, which would be spring. So let's pull a card for autumn equinox from this deck and see what we get. So, autumn equinox energies, please. Autumn equinox energies, please. I don't know why, but I'm picking up a lot of fear for some reason as I link into the parts of the world going into autumn equinox. It might just be that the awakening process in your part of the world, there is a lot of fear to break through the membrane, is what I'm hearing. The birth, there's a very thick membrane, and that membrane is linked into the energy of fear. Somehow it's not safe to be able to break through that membrane, but you can and you will, or they will. They can and they will. So I'm picking up fear energies with autumn equinox. It is linked into the season as well. You know, shorter days, darker nights, going into the blackness, going into the darkness. Are the worries about power supplies and electricity and blackouts? You know, I mean, within the spiritual community, we often talk about, and I've talked myself about, potential power outages and the grid going down. But let's put it this way, it's an easier ride to go through the grid going down when you're in the summer months to when you're going into winter months. Maybe it's that I'm picking up. Look on the bottom of the deck is what Metatron's saying. Right, what's interesting is it's an upside down card before we even look at what it is. It's the card of Basil, but it's upside down for autumn equinox people. Let's see what it says. It's card number 24. I don't even know if you can read these cards in reverse, but it came up in reverse. So I'm going to read the message. It's only a very short message, and then we'll flip it on its head. So it says, there is growth to be found in helping others achieve the same goal. In India, a leaf of holy basil is placed on the forehead of the deceased to ensure that Vishnu will see them and welcome them into heaven. By giving your time and energy to others, you will draw the same good energy that you are giving away towards yourself. Right, there feels as though there's a lack of community consciousness that is being expressed here, helping others. It's a forgotten muscle, is what I'm hearing. Now, please don't get triggered, because you might be watching this and be the most loving, I'm sure you are, person in Australia or New Zealand who's absolutely helping others. I'm talking about the collective energy, okay? There's been a turning away from each other. Of course, this isn't just exclusive to people going into autumn equinox. That's why I was hoping people would watch the whole video. But this is the card that's come out for you. There's been a turning away. There's been a sort of like, I know they're sort of in need, but I've got to get on with my own life type energy. There's also here this thing about India and Vishnu and Basil being placed on the forehead of the deceased. There's a fear of death. This is fear of death. It's exactly what I was feeling. I was just feeling this blackness. This fear energy came in as soon as I was tuning in. So a fear of death for some reason. I don't mean that facetiously for some reason. It's just, I mean, let's go back to nullity, okay? Floating around in that dark place. Maybe there's a bit more of it, that side of the world, than there is here. I don't know. So we've got Basil. I'm going to pull one more card because I did pull that from the bottom of the deck and I was told to, but I'm going to pull one more card. So as well as Basil, right, I hope you're going to understand this reference. Australia, you're going to understand it. I don't know about New Zealand. If you've ever watched Fawlty Towers, you're going to get this reference. Basil? Sybil Fawlty. Basil? That's what she always said. Basil? That was his name, John Cleese. She was always nagging, okay? Now, she nagged for good reason because John Cleese, Basil, was always cocking it up, basically, you know? There seems to be something here about the divine feminine on the heels of the masculine, but it's the patriarchal masculine, okay? It's like, you know, all right, Sheila, that type of energy. It's like, come on, just let that go. Come on, divine masculines in autumn equinox areas of the world. It's time to wake up. Wakey, 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 wakey. Okay, if you're watching this, you're already awake, but I think you probably know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of other brothers out there that are resting on their laurels, and there's a lot of Sibyls, you know, which are like, Basil! But the point is that nagging doesn't really get you anywhere either, because that's an old archetype of feminine energy as well, right? We don't want to be a nag, because no one wakes up from that. If anything, they'll just put the earmuffs on. It's like, I'm really not listening. Basil Fawlty never listened to Sybil. He just tried to get as far away from her as possible. So that's coming up here, okay? There's a dance between the masculine and the feminine energy. And what have we got here? We've got another one that's just come in an upside down position. I was just told to get that. Buttercup. Suck it up, Buttercup, is what I'm hearing. Suck it up, Buttercup. Understand the expression? Which means just put up with it. Put up with it, love. That can be for men or women. You know, it is what it is. No, I'm sorry. No. Go higher. Let's stop floating around in this nullified place. Card number 5. 5 is linked into change. Right, so again, it came upside down, but let's have a look what it says about Buttercup. Right, it's a Persian legend. It says, a Persian legend tells of a prince who fell in love with a nymph. So taken was he by her beauty that he serenaded her day and night, certain that she would come to love him too. The common ending for the tale is that they wed, but another popular ending suggests that the nymph became so frustrated with the prince's rowdiness that she turned him into a buttercup simply to silence him. Take a step back where the prince did not, and reassess your situation. Sometimes it's more beneficial to be patient and let things happen in their own time. It's the Basil and Sybil Fawlty energy. I was right. Okay, that's really interesting. I was right. That's exactly what it is. It's a shift that is happening for whatever reason. Equinox energies are bringing it in between the masculine and the feminine, trying to find their footing in a new world. I wanted to say best of luck. I mean, really, that's huge. It's huge. I'm going to pull a couple of tarot cards. I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards from the Gentle Tarot. Something in that word gentleness. Gentleness needed. Space needed. We've got the Seed of Cups. I love that card. I absolutely love that card. We've seen it before. It's a little otter and he's just floating around in the sea, surrounded by violet, you know, which is transmutation energy. He's just waving. He's just waving at us. The Seed of Cups. And we've got the Nine of Thunder, okay? So, Nine of Thunder, Seed of Cups. There's a rainbow in the sky there. Rainbow Nation. Rainbow Nation awakening. Rainbow Serpent awakening. Thunder in the sky. Full moon. We've got the Seven of Cups upside down. Yeah, and the Two of Stones and death. Okay. Yeah, it's what I'm feeling. I'm just going to cover up her naughty bits in case I get censored by YouTube. Yeah, that does actually happen, believe it or not, just by showing tarot cards that have a certain part of the physiology on it. We've got the Two of Stones, a lady, she's trying to balance things out. It's about balance, it's equilibrium. Seven of Cups, you know, it's upside down though, so it's almost as though all of the options, all of the old template options, the cups have been turned upside down, everything's been shaken out, everything's been looked at, and it's like, God, what a mess this is now. What do we do? Because we can't get the bits back anymore together in the same place. The Death card. It's like, what am I trying to say? It's like a game, and it's as though all the pieces have fallen. You can see where you're at as a consciousness, all the old patterns, all the old templates, and what you can't do is put them back together again. Humpty Dumpty has well and truly fallen. He can't be put back together again. He's not meant to be put back together again because something has died. And what wants to come in is this beautiful Seed of Cups energy, which is very innocent, very playful, very like, I don't really know how we're going to do this, but we're going to give it a damn good try. And it's definitely linked into the template between men and women. Nice. Okay. Let's go to the Flame Metatron spray, just to see if anything else I can pick up here. Autumn Equinox. I'm hearing reverence, reverence. I'm really just hearing that word reverence. I'm being taken to Uluru, but equally it's respect for the land, reverence for the land. There's something coming back, and particularly in Australia, the indigenous ones rising, the teachings from the land, the respect for Mother Earth, the old teachings coming back. You know, the whole don't throw everything out. We don't want new just for new's sake. We want the best of the past and the creation point of the new. Sorry, made me jump out of my skin. But I'm just hearing the word reverence, reverence, reverence. Ceremony and reverence being very important for autumn. Respect for the seasons. Respect for each other. Okay. So I'm going to pull, where is it? Oh, yeah. Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Lynn. Let's have one card for Autumn Equinox. What's the energy around Autumn Equinox, please? Opportunity. Opportunity. Nice. There's an opportunity to come together. There's an opportunity to learn from each other. There's an opportunity to go within. There's an opportunity for greater reverence and respect. There's an opportunity for community, definitely. Greater community. Coming together is what I'm feeling. Very deep. Feels very, very deep. Pull an Earth Magic card. And then we're going to move on to Spring Equinox. Okay, let's have an Earth Magic card. A card for the Earth in those parts of the world about to go into Autumn Equinox. Okay, we've got 3 that have just fallen out. We have Dawn, New Beginnings, Rain, Purification, and Stone People, Vigilance. I talked about Stone People in my last video in quite some depth about, I can't remember what I was saying in regards to it basically, but it's taken me to Easter Island. I assume that's that part of the world. Yes, it is, isn't it? Easter Island, I'm being shown. Vigilance, respect for the stones, respect for what's been there for so long. It's that nullity energy. You know, it was talking about people have lost their respect for what's meaningful. They're like, you know, nothing has value anymore. Nothing matters. It feels like there's this growing environmental movement, and that doesn't have to be political, just this love for Gaia. You know, the old stones that have been there forever, the waters, the people, definitely the indigenous ones, the elders. Rain, I'm sorry to say, more rain coming in. I know you had massive floodings, didn't you? Maybe it's still ongoing. I know you did. But again, rain as purifier. But we've got the New Beginnings card as well. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to now go on to spring energies. Let's just put these cards to one side, and then I'll tie it all together at the end, okay? So let's just clear the energy, and I'm going to use the white light spray for that. So let's now dip into spring energies, please. So let's see what Metatron has to say before we go any further. So Metatron now linking into, for example, UK, Europe, America, Canada, anywhere around the world which are going to be going into spring equinox. The first thing I'm feeling is, and I understand this, there is a real rush towards it, okay? It's like people can't get there quick enough. It's like we're wanting to rush. We're impatient to get to spring. It's been a long winter. It's been a tough winter. It's like, get me there. Never before have we appreciated the turning seasons so much. What else am I feeling? There's a real quietness just come in. There's a sense of expectation and hush, expectancy. I know general elections are happening all over the world, not just for those going into spring equinox, but for whatever reason, I'm picking up the election energy, okay? So obviously we've got America sitting there, which can't be ignored. There is a big election in November. But a lot of the activity, of course, is going to be happening through the summer months, whatever happens with the vote. But it's not just America. We've got an election coming up here in the UK, I'm sure, in lots of other places. So it could be linked into the political changes that are to come. I am feeling that. Spring equinox energies for the people watching Metatron. What is there to say? Yeah, I'm just being shown traditional images now. I'm being shown the lambs skipping around in the fields, and that is a reset moment in its own way. It's the image of purity, and the lamb appears in the Christ consciousness card as the energy of innocence, actually. It's the little child holding the lamb. Yeah, return to innocence. There's definitely a feeling of like, get us there as quickly as possible, please. But to rush is not always the best thing to do. Right, let's pull a card from whatever this deck's called. What one is it called? Seed and Sickle. The one that's got two different... So what we're going to do here is we're going to pull a card, but this time we're going to use the book, which is to do with coming out, okay? Coming out, going outward, not as much inward. It feels like it fits the spring energy. So let's see what we get. I'm going to put, actually, the two cards that we got for the other half of the world back in the deck, because if they come out again... there's a different interpretation from the spring book, as it were. It's not called the spring book, it's just how I'm interpreting it. Okay. Spring equinox, part of the world. Where are the energies? Right. It's difficult to shuffle for the first thing to say. Let me concentrate. Spring equinox energies, please. Sort of wanted to put it back in, but I'm going to have to take it because it came out. Bluebell, card number 17. It's also upside down. Just looking, are they all upside down? No, they're not all. Okay, so we've got Bluebell. It's got a book on it with arrows going through it. 17. Before I look at the message, I mean, bluebells to me always link into remembrance. Of course, our spray, the Bluebell Bridge, is to do with loss and grief. There is a book with arrows put right through it. I don't know. Let's see what it says. I'm not sure what this means. Card 17, Bluebell. Previously laid plans feel like they're starting to fall apart. If you don't stop and mend them now, it's only going to cause issues further down the line. The gummy sap of the bluebell has historically been used in bookbinding. I didn't know that. And fletching, whatever that is. It's even a natural insecticide, providing an extra protection against damage. Whatever glue you use in this situation, take the time you need to find the correct solution and set things right now, or you'll end up doing the work again in the near future. But it came in reverse, implying something has gone wrong or something has fallen apart. Let me have another card to go with it to try and make sense of it. There's that phrase, isn't there, that nothing actually ever has really gone wrong. You know, in many ways, if we look at life from a higher perspective, that whatever we feel is going wrong in our life, or whatever path we feel we should have taken and we didn't, whatever mistakes we feel we've made, ultimately, they have either taught you something, brought you to where you are now, made you do a U-turn and made you realise what you do need. I don't know. Let's just see what else goes with this. So, spring equinox. I mean, bluebells are a sign of spring, but for me they are also tinged with sadness, I have to say, even though they're beautiful. There's something very vulnerable about the bluebell energy. We've got jasmine. I like jasmine. Okay, this one did come up right. I'll show you the card in a minute. Let me just get the message. Card number 10. This feels as though it's going to be more positive, guys. Card number 10 is you've taken some good initial steps on your journey, but you're starting to flounder. Perhaps you feel as though you could have set out in a different direction, or others are calling you foolish for doing things the wrong way. But you chose this path for a reason. Jasmine always grows exactly where it's meant to, and so do you. You know exactly where you're going and why. Don't let your doubts or the scorn of others make you question yourself. Well, I think together these make a lot of sense now, these two cards, because basically what they're saying is that you may feel as though you've made a mistake, but actually you haven't, because it's leading you somewhere that you're meant to be. It's almost like if you started a job and it didn't actually work out, but you met somebody there who's amazing and you're going to be friends with for the rest of your life, or that job that's not right has led you to the right job because you wouldn't have heard about an opportunity if you hadn't been sat at the desk on that particular day. It's that type of thing. And then with Jasmine, it's this thing about, yeah, you know, other people won't necessarily understand some of the decisions that you might be making now, but trust yourself that you know where to plant the seed and where it will grow best. And what is the seed? The seed is you. I talked about this on Instagram yesterday about change, having to face change, realising that sometimes we have to let things go that others don't understand. It's like, but you're good at that. You can do that. Why would you not do that anymore? It's because you're meant to be doing something different. So that definitely fits into this whole energy of jasmine. I also think these plants that we've got here, jasmine and bluebell, they just feel very, very delicate, do they not? They feel very delicate, they feel very feminine, and also very highly scented. Jasmine has got a beautiful scent. Bluebell has got an amazing scent. There's something about lying down in bluebell field. I know people that do that. Maybe I need to do that this year. It's very sensual, and what I mean by sensual, I don't mean sexual, I just mean the senses. Something invigorating, scent, beautiful colour, coming alive, doing something that makes you feel alive again. But it might be something that doesn't even look like much of an opportunity. I'm being shown somebody who's buying a house right now, and it needs a hell of a lot of work, and it looks like a wreck. Who is it? Please tell me in the comments. One of you is buying this old house, and it's like other people have looked at it and thought, oh God, what are you buying that for? Or why are you moving there? But you can see something that no one else can see. I have to say that's true of this house. I was about 7 months pregnant with Sophie when we bought this house, or made an offer on it, and it all needed completely gutting. Our bedroom is now up in the loft. Couldn't even get up in the loft because she had to go through a trapdoor. I had a huge, great big belly. I just trusted John that he could see something in this place that was right for us. And he was right. You know, I couldn't see it. So that's the other thing. Sometimes other people can see things that you can't see. So you've got to trust that a little bit as well. Okay, let's go to tarot cards. We're going to go to a different deck. Now, this deck has been screaming at me to be used for spring equinox. It's called Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. So let's see. I think it's just the frequency of the deck is beautifully light. It's a lovely light deck in terms of its frequency. It's really nice. Okay. How many cards did we have before for the other part of the world? Let's be fair. We had, can't count today, something going on. It's like anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't shuffle either. Right, okay. Okay, well that one's wanted to come out. They're really hard to shuffle. What's just flown out is 4 of crystals, control and security. Oh, we got a little otter. Didn't we have an otter on the other card? We did, didn't we? Well, what are the chances of that? 2 cards with otters on. I'll have to go and get my book about what otters are in a moment. But before we do that, let's just see what else. And we've got the Emperor on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Right, 4 of crystals and the Emperor. So the Emperor, as we know, is about stability and focus. It's about, I don't know whether this is going to show up very well on my camera. Can you see that? Anyway, the Emperor. Yeah, I think you can. The Emperor is about security. It's what we know. It's steadiness. It's everything's balanced. Everything's in order. Order. And the 4 of crystals. Order. Square. Balance. That doesn't really go very well with sort of taking a bit of a punt. Go on, do it. You can do it. Buy that old ruin. You know, follow your dreams. Spring energy coming in to maybe shake the Emperor energy in you a little bit. Let's have two more cards. The Queen of Acorns, passion and creativity. Yeah, exactly. It's what I just said. Queen of Acorns, passion and creativity. Rising sap, very much like the sap within the bluebell. Rising sap. I feel as though I could do this. I feel as though I would like to do this. I'm going to go for it. It's that type of energy. feeling passionate again, feeling creative again. Remember, coming out of this place of nullity. Oh, what's the point? I'm just going to carry on floating around doing nothing. Nothing matters. Bleakness. No, no, no. Spring is coming in to say, no, you are the Queen of Acorns, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whatever you are. Get in touch with your creativity and passion. Let's have one more card. It feels like you've been a bit too safe. You've been a bit too safe. Hi, yes, I've changed outfit. I will explain. I don't know whether you caught a couple of little bleeps on the sound file. I hadn't appreciated that they were little warning sounds that my microphone was about to lose its power. So I lost the last 8 minutes of this video. So this is the following day, and I am going to tell you which cards came out, and then we're going to end with a summary of what the energy of Otter means. Okay, so apologies, a little bit disjointed, but I'm doing my best, and I'm about to go away on holiday, and I just really want to get this video out for you in my absence. And then I am going to spend the next hour or so doing a Kate Middleton update video. So you'll have 3 videos to look at before I'm properly back around the 26th of March. Well, I'm travelling back then anyway. Okay, right, let's get back to it. So I was just about to pull another card. We'd talked about the Emperor and the 4 of Crystals, hadn't we? And maybe we're playing it a little bit safe. The card that came out after that was this one, I believe. I don't think I've shown you this card yet, which is the Queen of Acorns. And it says passion and creativity. And we also had the 8 of Shells. And this always reminds me of the Mary Magdalene energy, because the day that we created the Mary Magdalene spray, I went down to the beach near me and I saw about 8 starfish on a wooden groin that somebody had left there. And I've never seen them before and I've never seen them since. So for me, the starfish is very much linked into Mary Magdalene's energy. So this is the divine feminine energy within you, wishing and hoping and nudging you to explore a little bit, very much like the arms of the starfish, to reach out to new possibilities, to new heights, to seek new adventures. And with the Queen of Acorns, which is about passion and creativity, to do something that really makes your heart sing, okay? To be amongst people that make you happy, that stimulate you in some way. And that also, of course, is linked into people that maybe make you question, people that trigger you to think a little bit deeper, not to just be in an echo chamber where everyone is the same, everyone thinks the same, everyone's doing the same old thing, everyone's just in a comfort zone. So definitely the energy coming through is one to explore, to grow, to tap into your divine feminine energy. Another card, or the last card that came out, which really was just clarifying all that I've just said, but highlighting it even more, is the Sun. So at a time, autumn equinox, when the sun is feeling as though it's starting to recede and darker nights are drawing in, this is a message also to tap into the sunlight that is basically within you. So that links into the solar plexus chakra. Hopefully you've absorbed lots of vitamin D, you've been out in the sunshine over the summer months, you have a store of that within your body to see you through the winter. But it's just ramming home this message about vitality and joy. What is it that brings you joy? Be amongst people that bring you up and make you feel positive. Leave the people that make you feel the opposite. And when I say leave, I don't mean literally leave. I just mean try to spend as much time as you possibly can with people that make you feel optimistic about life, that encourage you to be the best you can be, to follow your dreams, not to just listen to the people who will come up with the blocks and the barriers and why you shouldn't do something. Okay, so we've got the kingfisher there as well. Oh no, sorry, not the kingfisher, although there's a reason why I said kingfisher maybe. It's the hummingbird. So the energy of birds as well, being able to see a bird's eye view of things. Right, so I wanted just to now summarise by looking at these two cards again of our otter that is appearing twice in two different decks for you. So what I did was I went to the Animal Speak, big old book actually, it's a bit like a directory, by Ted Andrews, and he's got quite a bit of information about otter. I'll link the book below, and this is what he says about otter, and I'm afraid I can't replicate what came through in yesterday's recording, which is a bit of a shame because there was a passage in this that really made me laugh, and it just brought such joy and playfulness. It's a real shame I wasn't able to just bring that recording to you, but it didn't have any sound. Although, of course, in the old days, you know, people used to watch silent movies, didn't they, and get a lot of pleasure out of them. So maybe there's something in that as well to go back to the old movies. Right, otter. Otter is about joy, it's about playfulness, and it's about sharing. So think back to some of the messages with regards to this autumn equinox read. I think we started off by saying that there's an energy of lack of community, maybe lack of reciprocation, of giving and receiving, not expecting anything back, just doing it from the right place, from a humble heart. So the otter definitely is bringing through an energy of sharing and community, but again, this message of joy and playfulness. And the bit that made me laugh yesterday, I don't really know why, but it was just the mood I was in, was it was talking about the mother otter. And it says, the mother otter usually chases the father out of the den when the young are born, again reflecting the otter's tie to primordial, feminine and mothering energies and patterns. I think it was that I was just thinking about the whole Sybil and Basil Fawlty, you know, role play that I talked about in this video. And here we've got a mother otter chasing the father out of the den when the young are born again, and it's to do with this primordial feminine mothering energy. And it says when the young are out and about, the father is allowed to rejoin. Usually 2 to 4 young are born, but they must be taught to swim. The task is handled by the mother. And it says sometimes otters show up to help awaken the primal mothering energies and responsibilities. That's interesting, isn't it? Because we've got I've just mentioned Mary Magdalene, who I believe was a mother, but, you know, we'll talk about that another day. And we've also got the Queen of Acorns out, Queen of Pentacles, which is a very grounded mothering energy. So it definitely feels as though there is a rise of mothers speaking out, protecting their young. I will say, it's a little bit off topic, but I want to bring it in, that here in the UK, I think it was 2 days ago, there's just been a landmark ruling banning the use of gender chemicals. Let me just get the thing up so I know what I'm talking about. Here we go. Where is it? Yeah, Britain today just passes landmark ruling banning puberty blockers for children at gender identity clinics. So that came in, 2 days ago in Britain. It's a landmark ruling. So puberty blockers cannot be given to children. And I would imagine, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I would imagine that there have been a few mothers that have had something to say about that. So that's just one example. It doesn't have to be the only example, of course. Mothers standing up for children's rights to grow and to maintain their innocence for as long as possible before maybe other agendas are placed upon them. or societal conditioning comes down upon them. I'm also being shown the education system, which of course is long overdue an overhaul. So we've got the energy of the mother coming in. It also says that otters are agile, acrobatic in water. That reminds me of synchronized swimming, actually. I'm being shown that in my mind's eye, and the beauty of synchronized swimming. You know, at the Olympics, when you see the patterns that human beings, of course, make in the water. But there's something about beauty coming through with joy as well. What else? It says, if otter has surfaced in your life, it may be time to find some playtime. Involve yourself in creative activity. You don't have to be good at it. You just have to have fun with it. So it's really, again, ramming home this message, which came through already in the cards, about play and creativity. And the otter as a totem just feels as though, sort of how I'd like to leave this video, just waving at you, helping you to remember and reawaken that part of yourself that is more playful, that is more childlike. And it's from that centre that we can adventure out into the season ahead. I do hope that this has helped. I will now get this uploaded and get it up. Lots of love. Thank you very much for your support. Please do give a like to this video. And now I'm off to have a cup of tea and wrestle with the Kate Middleton update video. Wish me luck. Thanks very much. Lots of love. Bye for now. Bye. Happy Equinox as well. Happy Equinox. Bye.